I've got to stop
Yeah.
messing with this stupid mop. All right, cool, man. I'm feeling good. Oh, I was just reaching for the drumstick. Like I kind of miss it already. What I've done here. We don't have to. I don't have to stay married to the Stream Deck.
You can
It was just
like do an index finger that's very pronounced, like as you go to.
Pop. All right, legend. You feeling good?
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'm feeling good.
Hello, I'm Jason Fox.
And I'm John Anthony.
And you're listening to Kindred Spirits. We're in Season 2, Kindred Spirits. Kind, well-read spirits, I believe. What say you?
Kind, well-read, and well-received. Maybe that's a weird thing to say, but goodness, wasn't that a blissful summer as people continue sliding into our DMs and peppering in their feedback?
Yeah. It's. I found it really nice knowing that some folks are just like methodically catching up with each of the episodes. Like that one that we got from the chap who's like, I finally listened to episode 10. I just want to say, and then said some lovely things for us.
Nice.
It's really quite heartening.
And it's cool, isn't it? It's cool thinking about the echo, and we spoke about this in one of the episodes about people who were discovery artists, people who are forgotten and then dug up and re-remembered or celebrated once they're gone. I'm not suggesting that we are discovery artists. I'm just saying that it's kind of cool thinking that you drop something and then even though it's no longer alive for us because we're in another place and another time, it sort of gets breath back into it again as someone else experiences it months after we've done it. I'm enjoying that about this, Fizz.
Yeah, and I'm also really enjoying that folks are saying that they're putting it on whilst they're, working in the shed or going for a walk or doing something, and it feels like hanging out with friends, which is the spirit in which we intended this. Kindred spirits. J.A., I was chatting with someone just yesterday. I was out to a client dinner, and I was talking about this word frequency, which is something you brought up the first time that we met, because I was like, how is it that we have become such, friends so quickly? And it's frequency, resonating at the same frequency. And there's something, what I love about this, it doesn't matter what role we're playing in life, what life stage we're in, there is a kindredness. And you see this sometimes, like, my mum likes to go off in caravanning and stuff like that. And sometimes in caravan parks, you find the kindred spirits. You see the glint in the eye, and then suddenly you're in conversations all around the world.
Straight away, mate. Well, it's funny. I had two examples, as you said. One of them was a shoemaker. I went to get my shoes fixed at this place in Redfern.
Causewayne.
And there's this guy named Roger, and he's been doing it for eons. Like, he's part of the woodwork. He's part of the fabric of that suburb. Roger's Shoe Repair in Redfern in Sydney. And instant kindred spirits. You're in there for no more than 15 seconds talking about your busted heel or whatever, and there's electricity there. You can feel it in the same way that you feel it sometimes with an Uber driver or just a random exchange, and there's something exciting about it, and it's definitely frequency. Mate, what about my most recent example? I'm in Perth after work in a brewery, and before I even knew what was going on, I made a brand new friend who was a hairdresser who simply insisted on racing home to get her scissors, and then she cut my hair in the middle of the pub. Fizz, that was a frequency thing, mates, and it happened within 35 seconds.
Yes. And it was well done too. Like, for folks watching this, you may see John Anthony's mop of hair right now, but it was even more abundant mop prior to what you're seeing right now. She did a good job. What was her name?
Absolutely nailed it. Her name was Bryony. Really impressive person.
Bryony. Yeah,
and
nice.
that's the thing. I guess I know we've kind of started here, but let's linger. Were we not on a similar frequency, we wouldn't have noticed each other. She wouldn't have felt safe to come over to my table and chat to me. I wouldn't have been so open and responsive to the early dialogue within our exchange. Within 35 seconds, she had brought her neighbor and all of their beers and their little cigarettes and different things to my table. And so we were fast, instant friends. And that doesn't happen if you're not on the same frequency as someone. It doesn't happen.
And now we switch to to esoterica. a Hermetic practitioner attunes to frequency and resonance, and I believe that this is a conversation I was having last night with this client who is also a DJ, and we were talking about the similarities between facilitation and between doing DJ. There is something that happens in a group where you get this harmonic resonance where folks are breathing as one, moving as one, heartbeats aligned, and in a facilitation moment, if you are applying your craft well, you can get folks into the same frequency together, because when things start, it's going to be scattered. Some people are going to be all like, oh shit, I've got this email to do, in all operational mode. Other folks will be, threatened by the change that's emerging. Some folks will be big picture, swept up in the idealized vision and so on. And this process of harmonizing the frequency is part of the kind of deft work that we do.
It's the only way through. It's funny. Nothing rests, everything vibrates. And so, of course, that includes a room full of people, and it doesn't matter the scale. You can have 10, you can have 50, you can have 2,000, but if you don't spend time at the top of the exchange, at the top of the session, trying to influence that energy, then you're setting the whole thing up for success. What you're really doing is you're running a very heavy risk that people aren't singing from the same song sheets. And it's funny because one of the first episodes we spoke about this, I remember telling you we used to get offended when people would say, oh, that you've got energy. You brought the energy, that was good energy. But it's a two-dimensional way. Hey there, energy. But it's a two-dimensional way of thinking about it, because when you bring energy into a room, what you're also doing is you're alchemizing and trying to change and then enhance existing energy. And it can be done. I'll spend at least 20 minutes at the top of almost every workshop doing that. And if I don't, mate, it's always a red hot mess. Never goes as well.
Well, yeah. Whilst we're here, let's continue on some of the Hermetic principles. I think these are going to be recurring themes. We've just recently discovered that we both are fans of the Kabbalion, which is a relatively New Age, syncretic interpretation of a combination of Egyptian and Greek mysticism. But there's some wonderful principles in there. And that when you said about bringing the energy, there is a kind of the principle of correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. And the state within yourself that you cultivate is what helps to shape, but at the same time, you're influenced by the state that you're in. And I wanted to bring this principle in with another principle, which you would resonate with, I know, the principle of rhythm, how everything has its kind of ebbs and flows. Because one thing I find that I'm often saying with event organizers is that you don't want everything to be volume 10 the whole time. And you'd know this when you're making music. You can't have everything.
No dynamics.
You need to have, exactly.
No
There needs to
room.
be light and shade.
Yes, so true. I love that you brought that one in, as above, so below. It's that there is so much on this that when you start to think about it broadly, you realize it's rippled through everything. You hear it across so many different disciplines. When you look at anyone who's a Christian or a Catholic, they talk about as on earth, so it is in heaven. It's exactly the same thing as above, so below. I had a fantastic conversation with an Uber driver just yesterday, and he was saying to me, oh, why is it that people are always talking about what you put out there? That's what you get back. I don't get it. And he wanted me to sort of break it down for him as the Uber was pulling up at the airport. And it turned into a really fun conversation, because I didn't so much try to talk to him about manifesting, which is a whole nother conversation. I gave him some of the neuroscience, and the quickest way into this is when you think about the reticular activating system, that part of your mind that looks for patterns and shows them to you. I know a lot of people have heard of it, and the best, most relatable example is the red Volkswagen phenomenon. You heard this one, Fizz? So you're driving, you're thinking, I want a new car. You look outside, you notice a red Volkswagen, and then the next day you notice 2 red Volkswagens, and then the next day you notice 4, and the next day you notice 5. And you start saying to yourself, what a coincidence. All of a sudden, there's all these red Volkswagens. But in fact, they were there all the time. You told a certain part of your mind that this matters, and now you're paying attention to red Volkswagens. This is exactly what as above, so below means, because if you want to think about frequency to tie in our first thing, as above is the lens that you are seeing the world through with your mind, not your brain, not Warren, right? With your mind. And the way that you orient your mind is a filter that then begins to graduate you to a frequency that lets you start to see things that were always there that you were missing, ask questions that you might not have thought of, have the courage to approach people, spawn ideas, get yourself mixed up in situations that you may have avoided were you not on that frequency. So this is the whole as above, so below thing. You know, it's a way more... It's a way more sort of resonant and instinctive and ancient and philosophical way to think about grubby words like mindset.
I disagree. Kidding.
Couldn't agree, lad.
I think there's this whole thing of... I think I vex folks with this whole as above, so below, as below, so above. Like it's this whole, like, hang on, what is it? Is it this or is it that? You can't, like, and the point is, and this relates to like that Tao Te Ching and Taoism and all of the things. It's like, it's in the dynamism, it's in the movement. As you say, nothing rests, right? So all of that is true, and the inverse is true at the same time. And how, which is like bizarre to get your head around. Related, we're just using all of our bag of tricks with the Hermeticism as we compress each other, right?
You've done this.
I brought this upon us. Thanks for those that are still listening. A great quote from Ursula K. Le Guin.
Yes.
To oppose something is to maintain it. Because you're on the principle of polarity, you're kind of like reinforcing the very thing, like left versus right, progressives versus conservatives. All of this kind of opposition energy maintains the same paradigm that creates the conditions that create the conflict. So, you know, part of the work of alchemizing, of playing the role of magician, is to transmute, is to look at these conditions that are perhaps less generative than they could be, and to find what is the generative angle that we can take on this.
And there's always an angle. The way that you put it, and I think I was talking about this about a month ago on Instagram, if you want to look at polarity properly, then what you're entertaining is how powerful it can be to exist in a superposition. You can live in a superposition. Can you spin that for me, Jace? I remember there was a way you spoke about it using a coin as an analogy, but I would like us both to talk about superposition.
Oh, I'm trying to keep my mind less like...
The third side of the coin fizz. Start there.
Yes.
Let's talk about
that.
Oh,
right. My mind went to so many dirty places. Okay, cool. Superposition.
That's
that old thing.
That's a next LinkedIn edit.
I mean, I love people forget there are three sides to every coin, and part of the thing is like if you can flick a coin, you can get it spinning, so you're getting both positions happening at once. You get a simultaneity, so it's both and at the same time, and. So concepts like transformation exist at the superposition between creativity and destruction. And a lot of people like to talk about transformation. They like to talk about creativity. They like to talk about change, but they're not so keen on the destruction, the decomposition, the decay, the death, everything that comes with the process of emergence and change. So occupying this superposition is a good position to be in. At the same time, we have to kind of still contend we're in the mess, because even with the superposition, as above, so below, as below, so above, we're in the superposition, but we're also still in it at the same time. It's the trick to disposition from the kitchen. Yeah.
It's fresh out the kitchen with the trickster polarity disposition.
Right.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm angling for. Thank you.
Who is actually still listening? So,
that's great. Well, season 2 off to a great start. Good work, team. Hey, but the thing is, we're having a good time. Remember at the start, we're like, what is our objective with this whole thing, right? And it's not to monetize it and start to integrate ads. It's not to, it's not to build some large number of followers. It's literally, first of all, are we having a good time? And then secondly, I reckon this might resonate with some other folks too. So
Well, it's the most pure way forward. I've always had that approach to music. You can't chase your ass. If you're not enjoying yourself, if energetically it doesn't feel real, then it doesn't really hold any value. And just to sum up, fresh out the kitchen, which the polarity trickster disposition. The reason why living in a superposition is so powerful too is because it pushes you. You push yourself quickly into not just awareness but acceptance, don't you? You're sort of riddled and drenched in the yes and. You're okay about absorbing someone else's perspective, even if you think it's completely cooked. You live in a superposition, and as a result, it immediately erodes discord. You don't have to come around to their way of thinking, but you're very comfortable hearing their way of thinking and entertaining that as a real possibility. It's a possibility. Because it's that thing that we've been to. It's it's yes and neither nor, neither nor, either which. It's all of them, and that's okay.
I think there's potentially a danger, though. I can see the appeal, and I used to live in this spot for far too long. And the danger is to be oh so clever and removed, because
Yes.
look at me, here I am, I'm occupying the superposition. I'm so above all of you peons with your petty polarities and so forth. I am here alchemizing, and that's cute and it's partially true. And at the same time, we're all part of this fabric together. So,
You know what?
So,
Well, I'm glad you spun it that way, because the way that I think about the superposition is below. So we go back to as above, so below.
That's great.
Right? So, isn't this nice? Like
Look
you
at us,
think
yin
about,
yang and
you think
yeah.
about it. Well, this is the best way in, Fizz. I couldn't agree with you more. To brag or outwardly exist ongoingly in a superposition is just confusing. What do you like to talk to? People are sitting there thinking, can you please have an opinion, mate? Like, I don't know what I'm dealing with here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in such a state of flux that you present as a mirage. You're missed in a conversation. This is shit. There's no reference point for people to hang on to. But if you think about existing in a superposition below, right? So what's going on for you internally? It means that you move quickly to a place of acceptance, so you can wrestle with polarizing perspectives. But then also when things like your values get triggered, or when your emotions start to sort of take hold of you, you can start to make a really informed decision about what then bubbles above. Are you with me, legend? You make an informed choice about what bubbles above, so this starts to refine your behavior, allowing you to show up as the better version of yourself in the majority of your exchanges.
Yeah. There's something that makes me think too. This is a term that Kim introduced me to from her Gestalt studies. Genland's felt sense. Have you heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only because you might have sent me something like about this on Signal, but let's go.
Right. I think everyone can relate to this. Like, you don't need to know the technical thing, but like when you're present to dynamics, being at a conversation, and maybe the conversation becomes heated, even that sense, like, oh, this is becoming heated, is a felt sense. It's like when you walk into a room and the vibes are thick, like something's going on here. And what that is preconceptual knowing. Like your body knows something is going on here, and which is very close to intuition, which is non-conceptual knowing, and learning how to tune into that felt sense, that what I'd call like below up, like you're in it and you get the cue. That's like a precursor to realization. And the more that we can attune to that felt sense, the more likely we are to recognize either, oh, I'm getting triggered here, I'm getting emotions kind of swelling up here, or like, oh, I'm sensing something in here. Like, I'm going to pay attention to not the main conversation, but I felt something shift over in the corner there. Like, what's going on with that person there? They kind of, you get attuned, and your body is its own kind of intelligent sensory organ as a whole that helps to inform the mind.
Well, we're here, aren't we? And this ties back into something that we gently pulled a thread out a few episodes ago, which is the idea of there are things that you understand that you don't know. There are things that you know that you don't understand. If you're only using your brain, right, then you're cutting off way too much. We could really go as far as arguing that a lot of intuition and a lot of felt sense stuff has very little to do with your brain.
We could argue,
Bodily.
but,
Bodily.
that's right. That's
Bodily.
right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice to think about. So,
Hey.
neither of us asked the other one, so now's a good chance to do it. Jason, what's on your mind?
Well, have you heard of this thing called Hermeticism? Kidding.
Never heard of it. And also, Jason, I showed you the Cabal yarn.
I shared.
Oh
So,
my
listeners, we
God.
had this wonderful little a lovers' tiff, John Anthony and I. When you first introduced that to me, I was thinking of the Kabbalah, which is a similar sounding word. Mixed it up. Anyway,
It was too good.
We both have found our way to this.
Well, it's good. We had a cute sort of, you might call it gentle signal Discord flex where we argued about who showed the other one the Cabal yarn until it occurred to us that we'd both already discovered it and we're just having a weird little pissing contest. You know what it was, though? I remember what was driving it for me. I had this idea that maybe I'd showed you something for once, and I was kind of excited about that. That's what it was.
Yeah. And I realized just how oh God, this is this thing that happens to me all the time where I see popular figure on LinkedIn talk about idea that I have talked about and shared many years ago. But they do it in a way that is so, like people are like, wow, I've never heard of this and blah, blah, blah. And they're not accrediting source or all those other things. And I'm like, I realize that there is this part of me, the academic in me that wants to honor and attribute and recognize source that kind of gets triggered. And so there's a similar part of me that it wasn't anything to do with you, but I just like, it's this instinctual kind of defensive reflex around source and acknowledgement and attribution.
I like that.
Not that I'm ever formal about acknowledgement and attribution, because I think there's a lot of like patriarchal kind of authorship systems in there. But we've had this conversation before, right? It's just you and I do this all the time. And musicians are fantastic at this. You honor where your inspiration comes from. This is part of the right relationship with like your muse and life. That was just me wigging out in my own way. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun to talk about because it's an ego thing. People wanting to say, that's my IP or I came up with that. And I can definitely understand the echoes of academia and reference. I totally get it. I can definitely understand how that would be triggering. But I'll tell you something this brings up, and this hits so hard. There's a guy who I love. He's a man named Cameron Rosson. He's from Montana, but he lives in far north Queensland with his family. And he had this thing to say on a podcast a couple of years ago that I never got past. He said, you can hear the same idea from 5 different people and it just slides off you like Teflon. But then a 6th person comes along and they share the same idea, but they do it in such a way, with such a word choice, on such a frequency that this idea finally makes it through to you for the first time, right? And that hit really hard because it's a big mistake to try to gatekeep or edit or mute. And even if someone's logging into LinkedIn and hearing a piece of genius for 10 years ago, if it hit them, if it worked, if it created a moment that mattered, if it built some kind of positive momentum for them, then who gives a shit as to its origin? It's like that thing. It's like that thing, Jason, where they say, if I'm pointing to the moon, stop looking at my finger and just look at the moon.
But
it doesn't matter who's saying.
I see the moon all the time. I don't see your finger often.
Stop looking at my finger, Joe. Normally you can't see it. normally that's abracadabra.
I think to me, and this is a weird, like this is going to come to like, this is much more of an animate lens. It's the spirit of it, and the platforms that we work within and the conditions of this late-stage distraction economy lend itself to rivalrous dynamics, which means that there's a lot of posturing and perhaps there's over-indexing in one's supposed brilliance and less of the epistemological humility and reverence that I would like. And so when I sense like someone like, hang on, like there are plenty of others. Like this happens, like, people on the margins, women of color and so on, like they're doing great work for some time, and then along comes like the heavily platformed white dude come and claim that and then become popular for it. It's like there's this
mate.
instinctual, and it's just the spirit. So I think the first example of like, hey, I just heard of this thing and it's amazing, like it's just changed my life and blah blah blah. I love that. But if it's like, here's a thing that I came up with and
that I came up with. Yeah, I'm with you now, mate. That's grubby. And we don't have to name the name, but our certain someone who stole finite and infinite games. I might never get past that. I might never forgive that.
So this is interesting though too, right? Because even like intellectual property, it's such a weird concept. Like even the concept of property, like drawing lines around ownership. Ownership only exists as a function of social consensus. Like
that's right.
And so to steal something implies ownership. It's just this weird thing. It's just, it comes down to the spirit of it, like, which is a vague and frustrating term, but like that whole thing could have been done with like a different spirit.
A different flavor. And you're right. There's a way to go about it. This certainly isn't to say don't do it, but there might be an approach. There might be a certain approach.
Which comes back to frequency, right? Which is a good way to check in with myself. Like, so I haven't been that active on social. I made a quiet commitment at the end of last year because I did this wonderful hour-and-a-half podcast while staying at a friend's place in Bruny Island in the forest. This bird song all about knowledge of curses and cursed knowledge.
Yeah, and hear the birds in the background, Fizzy. It was so awesome.
Nice. But I made this quiet commitment. Cool. I'm not going to be like, how I want to show up from now on is more of a warm beacon rather than pointing out the dangers on the path ahead, because that's unsatisfying and not very fruitful. So yeah, it's really tricky though, because it means that when I'm logging in, I still get triggered so easily, and I have to check with myself. And this is advice for life. I can't remember if this was Mary Oliver or someone else was saying that, like health check. Am I more focused on loving, or am I more focused on who is not loving me?
Great. That's the way in.
It's a great litmus, right? I think.
Well, that's the way in for socials. You know, I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like we went there maybe towards the end of last season, 9 or 10. If you log into something that can often feel really vapid, like the Gram or LinkedIn, but you try to do it from a place of love, then it means you're going into the comment threads and you're backing people and you're high-fiving and you're being euphoric and you're being that ripple that you want to see. You're being the kind of person that you'd like to interact with on the platform. You're being champions for people and their content. And that starts to inform the way that you show up when you type something or make a video as well.
I think there's also something a bit to say about like warrior kind of love, or like adult, where it's like calling in rather than calling out. Like it's done like, instead of like trying to tear people down, it's more like, or maybe that's kind of happens in the DMs anyway, but it's a different disposition for the year ahead. And when I also feel like there is a much more of a shift towards these intimate channels. Like people are loving podcasts still. That's going to have longevity. People are loving books. People are loving catching up in real life. Or people are loving small groups on, Signal or other ways to keep in touch with friends. So
yes, it's
exciting.
A good shift. Yeah. Well, it's nice to think that the future is analog, and I think people like you and I try to sort of spearhead that as an idea.
You've got your analog room.
That's it, mate. So happy that you've seen that room. You know, for listeners who don't know about it, the front room of my house, which is our family's favorite room, has no technology in it except for the record player, but it's a screen-free, book-heavy, audio-drenched fireplace type of a room. And all the board games are in there too, Fizz. So you might remember yesterday I sent you a photo of my beautiful daughter and I playing Snakes and Ladders. She's so cute. My daughter Phoenix, her new thing is to play it backwards. So you slide down the ladders and up the snakes. Outstanding.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Just fuck all the rules, you know?
I do like that. You know, when some people are sliding down ladders, it happens in games sometimes, and you can kind of hold the button down and they go down faster because they just lightly gripping the edge.
Yeah.
Why not? And then you just hitch a ride on a snake all the way up. Like, take me up the mountain.
Well, it's actually, that's the funnest part. Riding up the snake is fun, you know, like, of course, of course people want to go up in the game, but there is something quite fun about that image of saddling a snake and riding it upward.
Do you know what you just Do you want to just, yeah. As
Don't.
above, so below.
I know. That's why I was. See, man, I told you when we hung out that I was going to try to get a little bit more Gurdjieffian, and then you can't keep pointing it out when I do it.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, but you can. You know what, though? I mean, that's a whole other conversation. And we've said this more than once. This won't be the last time we talk about Gurdjieff in the fourth way. But what we're getting into here, and this is fun, you can say things without saying them. Or sometimes a more powerful way to say something is to find a way of saying around it and not just spelling it out.
Like I just did.
Well, no, I thought when I said ride a snake, I thought you were going to go porno. So I was trying to stop you from going porno.
Oh, no. Well, no, that's like, I think when there's like, family context and stuff like that, I try to like have enough
He does have some boundary.
Distance, like, come now.
He's got some boundary.
But yeah, I do like the idea that the folks listening to this where, you know how they use the language of like red pilling, blue pilling, black pilling,
Yeah.
There's magic pilling. There's some like folks that listen to this over time, they're like, you know what? I think I'm cultivating a poetic disposition. I think that I have lowered the threshold to what I consider magic to be, and now I am seeing it everywhere. And you know what? I have the sense that I can actually affect things via the presence that I have and the intention I bring.
You absolutely can. And wouldn't that be amazing to think that that's part of the ripple that spreads out of this thing? I mentioned my friend Steve who listens, and he said, man, I love falling asleep listening to you guys. And he said, I don't really know what you're banging on about, but there's something in me that knows that I like it. And that's okay. That's just as good. It's like, it's like people it's like trying to get someone to tell you why they like a song. Don't break it apart. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Just like it. Yeah.
Just like it.
Damn it. Yeah.
That's a good grab. Should we go to the fake ad?
Oh, yeah.
Fake ad. Where are you? This feels like the right time. Are you ready for the fake ad, Fizz?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's how we introduce the fake ad now. Shout out Bo Golden, our maestro in chief. All the audio is from this legend. Do you operate in a data-obsessed, solutions-focused, performance-driven, metrically mundane ecosystem? Are you trying to spice things up a little and boost morale? Send a meme. Oh, I hate Mondays, said Garfield. Oh, lasagna. There's a strange new trend in my office where people are putting their names on food in the fridge. Today I'm tuna, and tomorrow I'm BLT. The only performance goal I have is to get my computer positioned somewhere where nobody can see my screen. Barry, today's the first time I've seen you smile at work. How come? Because today's the day that I quit. Send a meme, and just for a moment we may forget that we're all here performing daily trivia until we're completely enslaved by it. Send a meme.
Yes! Oh, that's such good. That is such good soundscape. Far out.
Bo Golden. Bo Golden's he's one of the best. He probably is the best piano player that I know in real life. He's in a duo with his brother. They call themselves This Week in the Universe. But he's with Sony, so he plays as a session musician. He's all over the world. He's worked with Daniel Johns extensively. He's on his last release. But yes, I really do want to give a massive shout out to Bo Golden and thank him for the awesome on-theme tunes that he helps inject into this bad boy.
It's so good. It's so good. Well done, Bo. Bo Golden, what a good name. Like, it's like beautiful golden. Like,
so clever. And I think he calls his company like Golden Music or something, or maybe that's his email. But no, he's the real deal. This is fun.
Bo like Bo like beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to give it.
Or is it Bo like a?
Definitely. Oh no, you got it. It's like beautiful,
Yeah.
not bow and arrow. He's beautiful.
Right.
He's a beautiful
Yeah.
boy.
So good.
Outstanding. Well, that's good, mate. So,
That
did
was
we
great.
get there? So, we got to you telling me what's on your mind. No, we didn't. We just went straight into Hermeticism.
Can't help myself. I'll tell you briefly. What's on my mind? Firehorse is coming soon. The new lunar year. We're in
Yes.
Woodsnake. Firehorse is coming. My mind just likes finding what is the next kind of milestone to rally towards. Astrological, Gregorian calendar, seasonal, whatever it is.
Yes.
And that's the next thing. So in my world, I've just been like contending with my own website bullshit, the packaging, the stuff that we kind of like, the necessary dance to give folks enough to kind of get their hands on without kind of collapsing the possibility space. It has not been fun necessarily, but it's been a necessary thing. And I've still got I feel like I still got another 3 weeks worth of work that I want to get done the next week. So that's what's been on my mind.
It's a fantastic punish. And let's think about this. This is so obvious for people who've heard a few episodes. We find ourselves here all the time. If you and I are obsessed with allowing the pendulum to swing in both directions and existing in a superposition, then it means that quite often we collapse things as they're spawned. But if you're trying to live in a superposition, but then you're trying to market yourself, you need a position. And I think this is part of where you and I often fall down, is this sort of inability to properly galvanize the way that we talk about ourselves. And even though we might find it amusing, it's confusing to the markets. It really is, man.
It's okay. Like with all the clients that I've worked with and stuff like that kind of warm web of referrals, it was just the pandemic that kind of disrupted the pattern of work begetting more work, which and it's also this thing where I just feel like in this age of distraction and AI, like people's attention spans are so diminished. They're like, just tell me, what are we getting here? What are we getting? And, the position of no position is not necessarily a position that they have the capacity to hold to.
Doesn't sell. What do I get?
So there's like a wonderful dance. I was reading this guy, a Singaporean consultant guy. I love his work. Von Tan. He's talking about ambiguous in process, clear in outcome, and I like that. I think you just got to find what's enough lily pads of certainty, to quote a friend of mine, Bruce McTarg. I love this term, lily pads of certainty. Like you can hop on it, don't spend too long there because it'll sink. But
that's
it's
space
enough.
in between. That's the space. The space in between.
Exactly. Yeah. So
like that,
that's
man.
been my world. That's been my world. And honestly, what that translates to is behind the scenes, me writing a heap. And it's all very clever and true. And then I'm like, hang on, people ain't going to have time to read this. And so then I'm trying to distill. And then I'm like, this is snappy and pithy, but it doesn't, so it's just an ongoing
you're
thing.
wrestling.
What's on
You're
your
wrestling
mind, man?
with those two polarities. Well, there's been a few things, but I'll say it because you brought it there. I tried to redo my website. Now, I didn't really go into it with you because I didn't want to bring the energy down. But, man, it was just a horror show, mate. Trying
Principle
to redo...
of rhythm, right? We need to...
man.
Can't be fun the whole time.
It was an important lesson too. Like I know I'm supposed to chill in January, and my wife's a primary school teacher, and often as we get to January, there's always this really euphoric, blissful summer built on hedonism. Foot off the gas, doing nothing, investing in family and friends. But I thought, no, I'm going to keep the flame burning, and I'm going to charge through Christmas, New Year's, and I'm going to try to revamp the website. And mate, it was a nightmare. I ended up finding some random person on Fiverr. I paid them all this money. I got scammed. They produced absolute dog shit. And in the end, Fizz, my website remains exactly the same. The only thing that I was able to do is start collecting some new assets, photos, probably what you're talking about, working on the copy, the way that I talk about myself. But it ended up being such an unnerving experience because it altered my character. Like I was all grumpy around my family and, sitting on the beach with my bottom lip dragging in the bloody sand. I was like, what am I doing? I basically ruined half of my summer trying to work through it. It was a big mistake.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I seem to repeat this pattern year on year. And I genuinely believe that from a seasonal perspective, summer is the time for hanging out at the beach with friends. It's for relaxing. It's for like, it's, you know, then comes autumn and winter where you kind of hunker down. And I feel like between autumn and winter is the time to be doing this stuff, planting the seeds and all of this stuff. But yeah, summer, it doesn't feel seasonally right as the time.
It doesn't
It's just
work.
that our calendar, you know, we kind of follow the Northern Hemisphere, but, you know, just the new year, I don't know.
It was a good experiment, mate. For me, it was a good experiment because I've known this for years. Like for at least the last 6 or 7 years, I always chill in summer. And this time I thought, let's mix it up. Let's keep transcending. No. You know, so in some ways that was a great lesson. And like I keep saying, there are some silver linings. I've got a folder. There's a folder on my desktop, Clip-clop, Year of the Horse. It's called Transcend Website 2026, and it's riddled with cool shit, you know, including some cool gifts that I got made. So it's more about wait until the moment strikes and then take another run, or maybe just enhance what I've got versus throwing it out and starting again.
I also feel like, you know, inherently to how you and I play, it's so much emerges through the dialogue. So it's relational. And when you're off kind of just on your own in the absence of that relational context, like it's hard to work your magic, right? You know?
Yeah, you're right. It's a prism of mirrors in your own mind, and it ain't pretty.
Yeah. But if you're in conversation with a client, suddenly worlds of possibility are, you know, blossoming open, and the imagination is all channeling. So, you know, this might just be something for, you know, us to pay heed to. Yeah. Oh, well, I feel for you. Maybe another time in the year coming up. It's just
we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's one of those things, right? You know, logically it makes sense. Oh, you know, it's the quiet time, and it's the time that people know. So many other people are doing this.
Yes.
As I was to say before, I think partly one of the other many reasons why we're so special and different and therefore better is that we're not bringing frameworks to impose upon the context that we're in. It's kind of like you lead by attunement, like you listen, you attune to what is actually happening, and then the patterns and the frameworks reveal themselves. So the whole world kind of is like, oh, I want this framework to put,
Where's your framework? What's going to happen? And that's, again, that's the balance. That's the balance. This lily pads of certainty, that's clever. Like you've actually given me a way of thinking about how I market myself. Because if you can serve the client lily pads of certainty and they know what they're, inverted commas, buying, what they're going to get, you know, then all the attunement happens when you're airborne between the lily pads. Mate, you would relate to this. One of my favorite things that happens is when I go in, there might be some half-written program, a workshop, or even better, a workshop that the client has handed me. But then in the opening discussion, I start to get a sense of what people want. And then you just kind of shut the laptop and you go, all right, let's go. And then you just dive into all these rabbit holes of their own design. Because then you know that you're adding value, because the whole thing's a conversation. It's not a show. It's not a performance, you know, and this is... That's another thing that's difficult to market. I'm going to come in there and we're just going to see what happens. When do I send my invoice?
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm working with this client at the moment. I've worked with them before. I'm doing a couple of days with them in Brisbane, senior leadership team, about to embark on a big change. And they just give me heaps of trust, because normally with my work, the most of the work is in the hand holding and the stuff and the lead up to get them to the point in the day where they have enough trust that you can just do what's needed. But they have these design principles for their offsite. I'm going to read these out. They think these are pretty generic, so this is not violating anything. There's 5. Number 1, mindset before mechanics. 2, people before process. 3 is honesty over harmony. 4 is direction, not detail. And the 5th is leadership owned. As in, this is not just to delegate to other things. I just love that. It's kind of like, cool, we've got some principles here that we can collectively organize around. Like there's a kind of, this is the kind of scaffolding. There's like enough fuzzy scaffolding that, cool, we can trust here. And the reason I use the word scaffolding is because you're not saying what the thing is that's going to get built. You're talking about the container that allows for the thing to emerge and grow, right?
That's it. Exactly. creating a container, setting the cauldron and then letting the magic come out of it. That the only one that I got a bit stuck on. Go back to the one where you said direction versus detail. I always have an aversion to the word direction. Well, let's slice that one open nicely.
Okay, yeah, but I too. All right. This is where I pull a little linguistic trick up my sleeve, and I would transmute that word and I'd add ality as a suffix, because directionality, right? Because when you add directionality, it's not specifying a specific direction, and it's not giving direction, but it is pointing like we're going in that direction, and it's like a hand waving thing.
Yeah, it's the spirit of collective directing versus one single direction. That's clever.
So the difference between having options and having optionality. So having options is you can point specifically, okay, what are your options? And you list them out. Having optionality is you have the quality of having options. You've got you're not trapped into one path. Yeah.
Man, you know this better than anyone, but words are like spells, and it's amazing what one can do. One word can motivate, inspire, cultivate curiosity, enchant. One word can trigger, awfulize, upset, malnourish.
Did you say awfulize?
Yeah, awfulize. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that word, man. Yeah, I tell you how I got that word. I got that word from Albert Ellis, who wrote Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy.
Look at you acknowledging your sources.
I learned from the best. I learned from one of my academic friends. No, but he was such a legend because he often spoke about the way that we awfulize ourselves. He's such a fun one to look up. Albert Ellis, Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy. I could bang on about him all day. But you know what else I could do?
Have a whiskey.
Are you ready, man? I just want you to show you and the listeners what Bo has done to introduce the whiskeys, okay? Are you ready, Fizz?
Yes.
It's whiskey time.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's all our samples from season 1.
Oh, the twist and puff and slush. Whoa.
That's all of them. I took like maybe 9.
All right.
That's what he turns around.
Oh.
What a legend.
Oh, my God. Oh, my heart is like, my heart. Be still. Wow.
That's why I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you that in episode because that's...
Oh, my God. It's so great. I want that as a ringtone or something, It's like, so good.
Actually, that's a good idea. We should change each other's ringtones, so that's what happens when we ring each other.
It's so good. Wow. So who was this?
This is that's all. It's all Bo. In fact,
fantastic.
I'm not gonna use anyone but him for this. He's the best.
So good.
I sent Bo around 9 samples cut from every episode of season 1, and he's just cut them in. What an absolute rock star. All right, Fizz, you ready?
That is great,
so,
man. Yeah.
This time around, my good friend, we are heading to India. Now, we certainly haven't been here. Amrut, okay? The Amrut Porta Nova. Now, the first thing I'll say about it is hold on to the edges of your chair with an ABV at 62.1, okay? Absolute belter. Okay. But it's got a really interesting maturation process. So it goes ex-bourbon, then it goes from there into ex-port pipes, then it goes back into ex-bourbon. So it does a little triad dance. And you'd be aware of this, but it's fun to talk about. These distilleries in these hot clients, Kavalan is another example in Taiwan. They've got an interesting maturation process where because of the heat, they kind of argue they can make things happen faster than in Scotland. And they're winning awards, man. Kavalan has won awards. These whiskeys stand up, and I think it's fun for you and I. I think we've done Wales, but isn't it nice to petit jeter out of Scotland for a moment?
Yeah, definitely.
Why shouldn't we?
I'm so excited about this. I never had this. Had a whiskey from an Okinawan distillery a little while ago with some friends, but and also because of the climate, to kind of lend itself a more rum-like flavor. I'm very
that's
excited
interesting.
by the bourbon casks.
Yes.
I love the influence that bourbon casks have on things. And what was the third one? Sorry, there's bourbon, then something,
Oh,
then bourbon.
it goes bourbon, and then it goes export pipes, and then back to bourbon.
Right,
So
nice.
it'll be fun to notice
All
the
right.
port influence.
Let me
Now,
get my
Jason,
little slush.
you get your slush,
and then you do
well,
the twisted bottom slush.
you know what? I just realized something super squeaky. I only bought the spit chalice to this episode. I have to run away and go and get my glass. I don't have my glass, Jason.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll keep the folks entertained.
And now a monologue from Jason, an excerpt from Puck, A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Well, this is going well. John Anthony has just left the room. What can I say? It's been very good to be back doing the podcast. I find so much comes to mind in the gap between things. There's so much to talk about. And perhaps I've got this insecurity right now that perhaps I went a little bit too hard on the Hermeticism stuff. I find it personally very exciting, but it is literally esoterica. So perhaps it's not everyone's cup of tea. Oh, he's back. But anyway, I think we're doing okay.
That didn't sound like Now the Hungry Lion Roars and the wolf be housed.
I was just airing insecurities. What I like to do.
Yeah. I can't wait to come back and listen to what you said. It was probably something like, sorry to anyone who doesn't want to hear about the Cabal yarn.
Whoa, how did you know? That was effectively...
I just know you. I just know you,
right.
man.
Okay, there's no twist, there's no pop, but there is slush with my little one. So let's go. Ooh, you filled this to the brim, dear chap. It's a 65%. All right. Oopsies. Okay, here we go. Okay, that was relatively quiet, but
Oh, solid. No, it came through. We got it.
oh, look at the color. All right, here we go.
Mate.
Okay,
You ready?
silence in the room. Oh! Yes.
That was an extended twist.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, I'm worried about how hard I've gone with this dram. Oh, whatever. We're big boys. God.
Oh, I must say, by the way, before we get into this, for folks listening, John Anthony conspired with my mother to get me a birthday whiskey, and it's just huge thanks to my mum, Dr. Bernie Cameron.
Beautiful Bernie.
It is so I couldn't we're gonna be having this. I'm gonna figure out how to send it to you, but I had a sample. And it was so dialed in. You know me and my palate. It's just perfect. The blend between the kind of maritime and the lightly peatedness with your own influence of the sherry bomb, which you've warmed me to. I'm loving the sherry bomb. It's just exquisite alchemy. I cannot wait to share it with you. And thank you, Mum.
Mate, I'm thrilled to hear it. And shout out, Bernie. So cute. I got to hang out with your mum. We had a lovely Zoom call. We hung out for a while, and I was able to slide that reco in. But Bernie, thanks again for involving me in that surprise. And we promise that that's going to be featured in one of the episodes of season 2. In fact, Fizz, next time I'm in Melbourne, which isn't that long away, we should probably do another... Let's do another switcheroo. I reckon I might be able to bring you 3. So I'm just putting that out there. We can go.
We've got
3
the glass
for 3.
bottles from our little whiskey abbey thing too, so that's gonna be fun.
No, man, the advent calendar. Oh my god.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yes,
we've got so many glass bottles. All right, let's give this a little. I love the color.
Oh, take it.
It's got almost like a, not ruby, but like a deep topaz, like amber. Like Jurassic
That's
Park,
it.
amber.
Yes, you got the mosquito trapped in your cane. Great, definitely. Straight out of the gates there, I'm getting sort of raisin and maple syrup, and some kind
Stew
of
sultanas.
Yeah, it's funny you said stew because where I went just then it was like when you get a good pie, you get a well-baked pie, a fruit pie, and within it is that sort of gelatinous innard that connects the pie. I'm sure that's the technical term.
Yeah, it's got like a treacle like quality to it. I do like
I
a
reckon
fruit
that's
mince
fair.
pie. Yeah,
I think saying stuff like fruit mince and treacle with port pipe, I reckon that's pretty solid ground.
Oh yeah, that'll be it. Yeah.
And
It's got that sugariness of the bourbon though too.
yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. It's been ages since I had this fizz, FYI. It's been ages, but I'm hoping that's I'm hoping we get that.
Oh, I'm looking around for the spit chalice, you know. I know it's close by. I don't know why I haven't found it yet.
And to be fair, I keep forgetting to remind you to look for it.
Yeah. Oh well. All right.
Did we both just climb under our desks? If anyone's curious, anyone who's not watching, for whatever reason, we both just climb. I was charging the MacBook. I don't know what the hell you were doing down there.
I was looking at a cupboard that I've opened up 4 times to look for the spit chalice, see in case it's just magically there again.
I love that. All right, man. I'm spit chalicing. I'm going to spit chalice.
I'm going to just swallow. You know, so.
You would. Oh, man, you can tell straight away, even just from spit chalice, you can tell this ain't going to be subtle.
Hui. I think I'm drunk.
Hoi.
Hui.
Hoi, hoi. All right, are you ready?
Oh, boy. All right, let's do it.
Hoi. Take my breath away. Bum, bum, bum. That's a lot. I got to go again.
You could be a fire breather with this stuff. All right. What am I getting? I just love, by the way, if I was listening to this, I would love this section. I just love the fact that I'm not alone, and that other people seem to love this section too, with all of its pauses and some people describing something that they're not actually tasting themselves. All right. Yeah, I'm getting. God, what is it? It's like jarrah wood. You've seen jarrah wood, nice and dark. It's like jarrah wood. I feel like there's like a like jarrah wood and like wood polish, which I've just which I've just consumed, which is against the safety warning. But there is something like I'm just like it's like burnt sugar, like someone's homemade attempt at doing toffee, and it's stuck to the bottom of the pan. Yeah, so like burnt sugar or toffee, wood polish.
Yes, I got it. You know what you just did for me? It's like someone's been making toffee and they've been using a wooden spoon. And then it burns a bit, and now some of that toffee is stuck to the wooden spoon. And then they say, hey, do you want to lick the spoon? And you say, you betcha. You betcha. Right. And so now you're licking a wooden spoon with some burnt toffee attached to it.
Yeah.
Another cool thing that happened then when you said wood, and I deliberately didn't say anything because I think I often go first, and I think I prime you, so I wanted to see what you were going to say. But you got me thinking about when you did you say wardrobe? I started thinking about wardrobes, and then I started thinking about Narnia. So now I've got this awesome sort of Narnia, Mr. Tummins sort of treacle thing going on.
I don't know if I did say wardrobe, but that's cool.
Yeah, you've got me there.
Oh, maybe I did when I was describing the jarrah. I'm imagining my friend from high school is really into jarrah, so he has this jarrah like wood with a lot of things. Let me have another sip.
I'll tell you what I will say. It's quite smooth for a Karski, so often, and now that my palate's, now that I'm across it, it did take my breath away on the first sip, but now that I'm settled into it, it's surprisingly smooth for a Karski, isn't it?
Yeah, so smooth.
The finish is easy. It's got that lovely not smoke taste, smoke sensation, like you've smoked a nice clean, I don't know, gadang from Bali. Remember those gadang cigarettes?
I like the sensation thing. Yeah, I get like if you like open mouth breathe pencil shavings, I still get that as a kind of like a, your standard HB pencil. Like there's that on the finish. The finish, like in terms of the mouthfeel and everything, it's very smooth. It's not rounded like a Campbelltown or something like that, but it's got a, nothing is sharp. Like it's not jagging out like strong on the front and then disappearing.
That's right.
Like it's like a solid waveform.
And then maybe the pit of a peach. Maybe a peach pit.
Yes, that's it. That's it. There's something fruit adjacent that
you're onto it. It's fruit adjacent, but it's not fruit forward, and that's why we keep coming back to the wood. That's why if you ever sucked on the pit of a peach, the peach is kind of gone now, but and you've got that thing that was in its nucleus.
Having said that, like now I get peach skin on the nose. Like I don't know if this is planted suggestion, but like there's just the skin itself of the peach.
But that's the magic, isn't it? Like I love the planted suggestion. I love the planted suggestion. That's why you and I get so excited when you see like that Lachlan guy from Scotch Malt Whisky Society describe whiskies that the planted suggestion is part of the magic. Although, do you do this, mate? I've found what I do in the last few years, I don't read the notes first. I always read the notes second because I'm in danger. It's not just getting primed. It's looking for and getting disappointed when you don't agree that something's missing. So I kind of do it first, and then I'll go read the notes.
Yeah, I think it's also a nice practice of attuning your own taste and sensation.
Right.
So it's interesting. I've been undergoing. I don't normally talk about this with most folks, but undergoing my own kind of, for want of a better term, magical training. And one of the key things in this particular approach that I'm taking is one of the key things is to not study in groups, to beware any group study, anything like that. The point being is that egregores, which are thought forms that exist between people, can corrupt and distort your own sense of things. So, and the person who wrote this book, she's in her 70s, I think now, she's making this clear point is like many people start, but then you enter a group dynamic, there's always like a strong voice and you start to then doubt your own voice and then you start to veer off your own track. And I feel like, with the whiskey tasting, attuning to knowing what this brings up for you, like, because if you read it, right, read the tasting notes, you're looking for that, and then you might miss the wondrous pathways that you might have gone down had you not seen that first. Yeah.
You've limited yourself by someone else's experience of the dram. And so there's just a sequence. Do it yourself first, then read the notes. And the cool thing about that is often you read the notes and then you go, oh yeah, I do taste that thing that they tasted that I didn't on my first lap. But it's mate, it's all part of the romance. And what a lovely thing to flash back that nice person that wrote to us through the summer and said, sometimes I'm tempted to skip the whiskey section, but I always stick around. I always stick around for that bit. And I really do want to acknowledge that I appreciate plenty of our listeners don't drink at all, or they don't drink whiskey, and so we're grateful to you guys for entertaining this moment in each episode.
Even our friend Steph Clark, who doesn't drink, she's saying like it's actually kind of nerdy and fun, which is hard.
That's it. I'm sure I'm sure that Steph, who hasn't drunk forever, is still amused to hear about some of the nonsense that we find inside here, particularly the stuff that doesn't sound like food. I think that's the best part. Like when you're finding things that don't sound like food, I think that's. I myself find that incredibly entertaining.
Particularly when also it's such a portal to evoke memories unbidden. Not like you can't conjure this, so it's just suddenly there for you. Like
That's right. Exactly. And just those weird side steps. Like you put me into Narnia. I wasn't expecting to go to Narnia, and that's what the whiskey did. What a treat. What an absolute treat. Good God. May our livers stay strong and our bellies stay hungry. Oh, fizzy. Fantastic, mate. Well, have we danced towards that part of our potty where we go towards some bad advice? Because there is one more audio sample for me to share with you.
Yes, but before we go there, I just want to share with you. I had this when you have like a cool thing to say and then your moment passes and then you're like, oh, damn it. I've still got the window open. I want to like just share with you. Maybe I've done this before. there's this great post on poets.org about poetic sensibility. It's something I admire in you. I think it's a quality that we both appreciate. Is something that I think that all kindred spirits would have, even if you don't fancy yourself as a poet. I'm going to read out these dot points here. This is an article that was written by someone, Jane Hirschfield.
Good man.
And here are the characteristics of poetic sensibility.
Great.
1, a keen sensitivity to the surrounding world, multisensory perception, which this is not what we're doing with whiskey tasting.
but it's also polarity. Like you just spoke about polarity. Yeah. This is great. Keep going.
An ability to ask questions of that world. 3 is to identify patterns, or the ability to be identifying patterns. Being able to make both logical and intuitive connections. Because like one of the things I like about how we dance here is we will flex hard into intuition and all these other things, but we never fully abandon logic. Like it's always like it's part of the dance. The second last one, a faculty and passion for finding just the right word or phrase to express feelings and meaning.
You could spend forever trying to get better at that.
Yeah, the aptness, the kind of, and the final thing is the use of the imagination to connect all the above in unexpected ways.
To connect all of the above from that which was already below. This is beautiful.
Yes.
Well, that's such, it's almost sort of like a philosophy that we instinctively live by, because it allows you to generate. It allows you to generate a worldview that I find resonates with everyone that you're talking to. No one is for everyone, but I think if you can sort of see the world and speak sensibilities, by design, instinctively, there's something about the way that you see and the way that you say that allows people to come with you. There's something really collective about it, isn't there?
I also like even someone who has a violently different perspective than you, wildly opposed. The poetic disposition, the poetic sensibilities sees that person not as enemy or opponent, but as a rival and a dancing partner who may harbor like hidden parts of the truth that you're not aware of yet. And so it's all a dance.
And I like the earlier point that you made about logic too. It's funny. Like I think, can you read the logic one again, Fizz?
Yes, just one moment. I
closed the window. You just collapsed your screen.
That's all right. It was below the windows.
It's under your desk somewhere, next to your spit callus.
Being able to make both logical and intuitive connections.
And that's the thing. One thing we keep coming back to is you can't just be intuitive or speak intuitively. It's too misty. If you abandon logic, if you can't use it as a lily pad, if you can't come back to it as a linchpin to create consensus and uniformity, then people don't have a reference point. And I think that's a really nice sort of thing to think about, how it is that we ride the pendulum, and here we are again back at rhythm. Like we're back at rhythm again. You've got to ride the pendulum between logic and the thing that I've already forgotten that was the other part of that thing. Logic and, what was it? Instinct? I forget.
Intuition.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like if you want to embrace the principle of rhythm, then ride the pendulum between those two things.
Makes me think of the Tool song, Ride the Spiral to the End. It may just go where no one's been. There we go. Actually, dude, the guy who I met with last night works high up at one of the big banks here, and he's DJ. His DJ name is an Indian name.
Yes.
Faribi something, I forget the second thing. It translates to naughty spirals. Or not quite naughty, but like sly, or like the deceptive spirals, and I really like it.
So cool. I love that, man. I love spirals. One of my favorite recent spiral stories, is one of my dear friends, Sean. So Sean's my music producer, Sean Carey. Absolute legend. I don't know if I've mentioned him on the pod before, but he used to be the guitarist of a band called Thirsty Merc. And his work with them all, man. He's worked with Cat Stevens. He's worked with Pink. Like, this guy is just a goddamn genius, but also happens to be a really beautiful human. And we were talking about heartbreak, and we're getting into this maybe a year or two ago. And one of my favorite sort of methods, and you might call it a modality or a headspace to graduate to when your heart is broken or when you're trying to recover from anything that you found traumatic, is to picture your progress through it as an upward spiral, and if you follow the shape of a spiral, then you appreciate that at times it feels like it's going up, but then it always dips back down again, and then it continues to spiral up. And so if you picture a spiral in your mind, it's sort of like a cone, isn't it? It's like an ice cream cone, but if you follow the edges of it on its way up, it's always also going back down. And I think it's a great thing to hold on to, Fizz, because a lot of people who are trying to recover from things, they get angry about the fact that it's not linear. Why was I feeling better on Monday, but now it's Wednesday and I'm more sad? That must mean that I'm not getting better. No, you've just arrived at that point of the spiral. Like, you're just coming around the mountain when you come, But if you just wait and eventually go meta and look at the trajectory of your progress, you'll celebrate it as an upward spiral. And I think that helps to activate some patience on people's journey back.
Yeah, I love that. And it makes me think of even like this summer struggle that I seem to replicate every summer. Each time I come around and like, oh, here I am again. But there's an extra bit of wisdom to it, right? There's an extra like, all right, I've been here before. I'm still going to be fucking complaining and everything, but I'll do it with a little bit of a glint.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why, I don't know if you remember this, but I did this on purpose. You jumped into my car when I picked you up from the train station, and I was playing a song. It's a choir called Shards. I think they're from the United Kingdom. And there's a song called Summer Sickness. Okay, I would encourage our listeners to look for this. The choir is called Shards. The song is called Summer Sickness. And it's kind of what you're getting into, is that I think for a lot of people, as summer arrives, there's something about the weather where you feel seasonally obligated to be in a state of euphoria, right? But some people, right, as they get to summer, it doesn't feel so good, And I think it's a beautiful,
like not reverse sads, but like Antipodean sads or something. Like
that's it, man.
For me, it's springtime. Springtime's where I get my like. Whenever spring comes, I'm like, I should have been so much more progressed in all the things that I intended to do this year. Like what? Like, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is nice. The sun's shining, the flowers out, and stuff like that." Oh, I got work to do. I still got. But I love autumn. I come to life in autumn.
Yeah,
oh my god, I can't wait.
Autumn.
Yeah.
And you and I are a bit obsessed with winter. That's why my instincts tell me that we'll probably do our first Kindred Spirits event in winter. That's the most likely prediction. What do you think?
That's my logic says that too. Yeah. Should we do some bad advice?
Definitely. Are you ready for the bad advice? Thanks to Bo Golden. Here it comes.
So. Let's do it.
He's good. He doesn't miss the brink.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so intelligent too. It's like it's like the slight discord of like, wait a minute. Love it. Great work, Bo.
All right, here's my first piece of bad advice, and it's so personal and stupid, but I just feel like doing it. If you're in a brewery in Perth and someone really friendly and kind seems to tap into your frequency, approach your table, befriend you, suggest that they're a hairdresser and offer to cut your hair, say no. Say no, I don't know you, stranger, and this feels risky, and leave my appearance alone. Don't take a chance. Don't take a chance on letting someone who doesn't even know you help you to feel better about yourself within 35 seconds of the encounter.
That's right. I would suggest any stranger approaching you with a blade, you should welcome with open arms.
If anything, unbutton your shirt.
That's right. Have at me.
Get a Sharpie and circle your heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yes,
God.
good.
Here- I've got another one. If you're still thinking, as below, also below. Just keep everything below. Okay. Stay grim. Stay dark. Stay introspective. You know. Stay there. Okay.
Yeah.
Linger in the melee of your own madness. Okay, and don't spend any time at all trying to take how it is that you're feeling internally and alchemize it so that what presents externally begins to create a reality of your preferred design. Don't do that. Never do that.
Yeah. I think Aristotle was right when he was talking about the law of the excluded middle. Things are either this or that, neither both, or it's like that meme I sent you. Evil Hermes Trismegistus be like, above has nothing to do with below. Do not look within. The exterior world is real, and it's definitely not a mirror for your inner life.
The evil Hermes Trismegistus. Man, that's good. God, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I think the key with all of this bad advice though is just don't be curious. Like you don't have time for that shit. You got shit to do, right? And
That's right.
Listening to podcasts where you're listening to two dudes, deepen their friendship and explore frivolous esoteric stuff. It's not gonna give you a return on the investment that you're looking for. If you want to smash your targets, what are you doing here?
Yeah, if you want to smash the targets, don't waste your time with ancient Hermetic wisdom. Okay, there could be nothing inside things that are thousands of years old, echoing from a past that we're not close to understanding, that could aid you in any fashion in the modern age. Just type your shit into ChatGPT.
That's right, just like everyone else.
That'll answer it.
Forget poetic sensibilities. Like, come on, let's be real. We need practical sensibilities. So that means do not expand your senses. Do not look to multisensory perception. Do not seek the imagination, for the imagination is wild. Stick with logic. It's the only thing you can rely on.
Hey, there's no lily pads of certainty. There's just certainty, okay? Just picture a pond with a top layer of scum algae. That's what it is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's one connected gelatinous thing, right? With no room in between any of it for what might emerge, okay? It's just done. And either you like that thing that was already done or you don't. Either you stick to the script or you beat it.
That's right.
Either you can play along or you can leave.
That's right. If it's not something you can see and touch and measure, it doesn't exist.
If it doesn't happen from your brain, then it isn't real.
That's yeah, that's right. Wow, we're going to town here.
That's a solid run of bad advice.
Yeah, that was good. Well done.
I love it, man. I do love the inverted way that we try to sum up the episode. It's such a cooked way to flashback what the hell just happened.
Yeah, that's right. It also robs our critics of the of what they might have to say. It's like,
and also,
too bad, we've already thought about it.
Yeah, and without meaning to, you just robbed me of an orgasm.
Oh, flashback. Nice work. Yeah.
You gotta throw the Easter eggs in for the people that actually hang out with us.
Stuff in your orbs, etc. Yeah. we haven't said nebulous that much, by the way. That's kind of dropped off. Like, I wonder what new words will start to emerge as a thing. Hermeticism. It'd be fun. Seemingly.
We should get friends like Jade to help with season 2 bingo. And but I did talk about finite and infinite games. There are things we might never drop.
Bravo. Yeah.
We might never drop.
I've been getting into, we'll talk about this next time, but I've been getting into some other James Carser's books. I'm currently reading The Silence of God, which might sound a bit heavy for folks that aren't religious. I didn't grow up with religion, but in true James Carse way is like profound. Like the way he's such a good trickster writer. Like he'll lead you down one path, and then suddenly you realize it's only to kind of zag you. Like it's just It's brilliant.
that way. He's an absolute genius. I mean, I wouldn't be the only person that would say this, but it's very hard to hear you talk about a book and then not want to read that book. So now I'm going to add that book to my.
I'm only a little bit of the way through, but yeah, I think you'll like it. Yeah,
super cool. And man, you got to finish that Gurdjieff book that you gave me that I finished before.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably like 20% left. So
okay,
that'd be great.
That'll be cool to bring back as well. Well, Legend, what a fantastic way to flashback season 2. A very warm thank you to all of our listeners who've crossed that summer bridge, navigated their summer sickness towards the next chapter.
And shout out to the folks in the deep freeze. They're folks in the northern hemisphere who who are enduring a deep cold freeze. Like, thank you to you as well.
Oh man, that's so true. It's funny. I sent the MB Sizzle a photo of me drinking a beer in Perth at 32 degrees, and MBS came back and went, dude, it's minus 25, right? So,
yeah.
Oh, we almost didn't mention MBS. Well, there it is. There it is.
Well, he's been listening to this point, so yeah, there we go.
Nah, I reckon MBS would be right into this Hermetic stuff. I reckon he stuck around.
I think a lot of people, even if they haven't used that language, it's intuitive. It's intuitive for anyone who's paying attention.
That's why, I mean, this isn't going to blow your mind, Fizz, but if you flash back the last 6 months of my LinkedIn content, it's all built from Hermeticism. I don't say that, but it's all coming out of there, man. It's all in there because it is instinctive, and I think that's why I became so obsessed with it when I came across it, because there's just something so true about it. There's something in your bones about it that's very difficult to ignore, and again, you just don't look at the finger. You don't need to look at the finger. Look at the moon.
Yeah. It's like source code. It's kind of like it's behind the scenes, but you're like, right. once you got an attunement to these kind of rhythmic patterns and sensibilities and principles, like it all makes sense.
It feels like source code, and it feels like a lovely sort of keystone to hold on to help you navigate your existence.
Yeah. Well, how lucky our listeners are to be learning of such things.
or just reinforcing things they've already scratched at.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Legend. It's always an absolute pleasure. Hey, look, this is a bit weird, but can I just play the whiskey thing again for the end?
Yes.
You've only heard it once.
That's it. Yeah.
Bo Golden. So here it is.
Good.
There's just can't beat it.
Oh, there's this one pop there that comes at like that funk kind of like half a fraction of a second later. Then it's just like
yes,
so
it's
good.
An offbeat. If you're reading sheet music, it's got a little dot next to the bloody quaver.
So good. And there's one really good twist there. Like
it's probably your twist.
So
although you know what, man, that the twist that I did today, I'm frothing on like that. We might need to mix that in next year.
I felt that was real masculine. Like that was like commanding. Like that twist. Like it just.
That's how most people describe me, Jason. Alpha, masculine.
Oh yeah,
butchy.
They can't shut up about it. It's like
that's alpha masculines.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking alpha JA.
Yeah.
Always such a blast, my friend. The peak of my
Likewise.
week. Peak of my week.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Love.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you again before too long.
Till next time.